Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Other Side Cycling podcast, hosted by me, Lucy Mannall, Patrick James Roldan, Remy the dog in the background. Maybe you can hear him. And we have a wonderful guest today. Hello, Lucy. Wait, I did it again. Oh
Yes.
my god. Hi,
Yes.
Lucy.
Hi, Lucy.
How are you?
I'm sorry, I've done
It's
that
okay.
before.
It's okay.
It's because I'm reading off like
A script?
yeah, basically. So I often say hello to myself.
I think it's hilarious that we've done this now because we made such an active effort
I
on the
tried
last episode to
yeah.
not do that. Hello, Catalina.
Hello.
Today we are joined by Catalina from the LABA women's racing team,
Yes.
one of the directors. I think we'll get deeper into your role on that team as we go into the episode. Just a quick introduction. A resident of LA, born and raised LA?
Southern California, not
Southern
necessarily
California.
LA.
Just
Just
outside.
because I know,
Yeah.
people will be like, not that so good.
Fair enough. I think you're the first Southern California born guest on the podcast, which a little round of applause for that.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
Thank you.
We appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks for
joining
having
us.
me.
Yeah, thank you.
So the way we normally do this, we go into 3 segments.
Okay.
We go to From Downtown, talking about bike industry stuff. Go into the staples, which is things that we've done on the bike.
Okay.
And then transplant talk. So stuff that isn't necessarily bike related, isn't necessarily related to Los Angeles, but anything that you want to talk about. Then we'll go into rapid fire questions and then close it out.
Okay.
Cool.
Sound good?
Sounds good. Yeah.
Let's jump straight into the From Downtown segment. You are one of the directors for LABA. Can you take us through what LABA is and everything involved that you are part of?
Yes. So the Los Angeles Bicycle Academy is a nonprofit organization based in Los Angeles, founded by Damon Turner back in 2007. So it was primarily to help create access for like the sport in his community, just because he came from it's like South Los Angeles-ish, like West Adams area. So he wanted to bring the sport to his community, and that's why he started the nonprofit. So then it eventually developed to like a race program. And now we have Bicycle Safety and Education, which is operated by Aaron Swanton, who is also like our lead mechanic. When we had our storefront over in Jefferson Park, they operated the educational programming in there, and then they had like the retail operations as well. So just like different types of programs for like youth, mostly career development, bicycle safety and education, the Earn a Bike program. So kids would be able to strip a bike and then build it back up. And then they earn a bike at the end of it with like a helmet, a lock, and
Amazing.
basically everything that you would need to commute.
That's so cool.
So then they would host weekly rides in collaboration with We Major. I don't know if you know Gio.
I think so. I don't think I've met Gio, but I've heard a lot about We Major.
Yeah, We Major, super cool. They kind of sprouted within the last 2 years, and they've just been knocking it out of the park with like community stuff, group rides, like hangouts, barbecues, things like that. So that was what they were doing at the shop. We did lose that space last year. So we're kind of like trying to recuperate, seeing, what our options are, but definitely still operating under the organization with the race team. And then occasionally like Earn a Bike stuff. Aaron is like, he hosts people at his home, like his home garage where the kids still come, or, teammates come over and they're working on this or that. So
If I'm not mistaken, Aaron is an alum mechanic from Golden Saddle as well, right?
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
So Aaron came from Golden Saddle, and then kind of like towards the end of that era, he transitioned over to the bike shop in Jefferson Park, and he was there with us
That's
for
amazing.
like 2.5 years. Yeah.
Yeah, that just goes to show how deep the community roots go
Yeah.
for this. I definitely love the idea of having that Earn a Bike program and empowering like the youth
Mm-hmm.
for, a sport that generally is very inaccessible for a lot of people. I have experience on the East Coast from a bike shop that basically sold me my first carbon road bike and my first track bike. It was a similar kind of program where they employed inner city youth to learn the trade about
Yeah.
how to become a mechanic. And I distinctly remember I asked the 15-year-old kid to be like, yo, take off the brakes for my track bike, make it brakeless. And then the dude who was running the shop was like, I can't allow a child to sell a bike to you without brakes, man. What are you doing? And I'm like, just do it, bro. Just make that happen for me. And the kid basically, like, he texted me that the bike was done, and he was like, I think I'm gonna make my bike brakeless too. And I'm like, oh crap.
What did I start?
My bad, bro. I shouldn't have done that. But we share like culture that way.
Yeah, definitely. That's how you build your bonds, is like through the weirdest, most painful sometimes moments. You're just like, oh yeah, remember that one time I asked you to do something super out of nowhere?
Yeah, and it's like, I hope he didn't get into any trouble with that, but I ended up getting my bike. That's cool. Are there the kids who are part of the Earn a Bike program? What are they doing now without the shop? I mean, you said that they're working with Aaron still, like occasionally at his garage. Are they still involved with LABA overall?
Yeah, so I know that you went to our like coffees and bike pop-up.
Yeah, that was cool. In Hi-Fi on Temple.
Yeah, it was Temple Grounds.
Temple Grounds,
yeah. Shout out to them because they're a great space there. So we'll try to kind of keep doing things like that while we still recuperate the space, just to give the kids an opportunity to like demonstrate their skills and then also develop new ones, because it's like when you're put in a social setting like that, I feel like as a kid you're just kind of like, what do I do here? But
yeah,
it's cool because all of us, I feel like at some point have been there, so we're there to like support. They don't have anything like formally in the work, so like I said, it's just like on occasion when we kind of gather everybody up and do something together.
I think as long as they're still involved in some way, seeing that, like seeing you guys doing more stuff outside and active to actually engage with the community is really cool. And I hope the community showed out for that one.
Yeah, and it was cool because I feel like over on that side of the 10, like Arlington and the 10, it's kind of hard to impact this side of the community, which I feel like I've been a part of for quite some time now. And so it was like, yes, like I have my team and I have all these resources, but they're like on the other side of the 10. Yeah, you know, so like I feel like now that we have a little more freedom, like not having a headquarters, we can reach different communities in different ways, you know, whether it is just like a clinic or like, you know, the mechanic pop-up, like just depending on where we are, where we ride. And over here it was cool because there was a lot of foot traffic when people were like, oh, like I have a bike that's just been sitting in the garage. And so it's just like reaching different pockets of people throughout LA.
It gives you more freedom in a way.
Yeah, like a little more autonomy. Even back home, I feel like I always leave with something and I'm just like, oh, like I could do this or, oh, I could do that. And just LA Bike Academy isn't just, you know, like a point. It's kind of where you take it, you know? It's just like what you want to do, how you want to impact people, and just like actually doing it, you know? Putting yourself out there to get it done.
The LA Bike Academy, the team, the women's team in particular, there's 6 of you guys? 6 members?
There's 6 members.
Take us through the roster. Who's riding?
So we have our core member, which is Camila Arenas. She's originally from Bogota, Colombia. She came over here about 2-3 years, maybe like 3-4 years ago now. Bike messenger, badass racer, badass climber. Like in Colombia, it's all hills, like
altitude too.
Yeah, so she came over here, and when she started racing, she was a spectacle, like right away. She has a lot of spunk. She's like willing to pull. She's down to keep it spicy, and it really started with her because when I joined, which was about 2022, people would call me Camila.
Oh no, you're like, that's not me. That's not me.
Wrong one.
So I'm like, no, it's the kid. It's the kid. Like I get it, you know, because she was the only one for a little bit of time, and everyone was just like, oh yeah, like.
But like, she's like strawberry blonde, right? Or like
yeah,
a lighter
she has
shade.
Yeah, light brown hair, and she's smaller. And I'm telling you, it's just the kid. Like, you know, when you see somebody and you're like,
in lycra.
Yeah, you see somebody and you're like, I don't know who that is, but let me look at their bike. You know, it's like,
you just gave me an idea. Next time I see Nick, I'm gonna be like, oh, yo, what up, Camila?
It's the kid. It's the bike.
It's the kid. Oh, my bad. My bad.
I used to get caught off guard when I worked in a bike shop, and people would come and be like, hey, Lucy. I'm like, I don't know who you are. But it was because sometimes they would come in kit, or most of the time they would pop in a kit. Beginning of the ride, end of the ride, middle of the ride. And then they would come in their normal clothes. And I'd be like, you look familiar, but I've only ever seen your face.
This part of your face?
Yeah, because they have the cycling glasses and the helmet, and they're wearing, you know, you have this assumption if you were to like think about if you only saw me in lycra and then you were like, oh, I wonder what style she has, or like what sort. Sometimes people will really surprise you.
It's completely different. Yeah. And you're just like, oh, I didn't see
Wasn't
that.
expecting
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Camila. No. That's a great tangent. I get that, actually. There was a party the other night. A bunch of people that you would normally see on Pandas Ponies. Everyone was like in their casuals. And I'm like, I don't know you, but I feel like if I don't say what up, maybe you'll say your name when I say what up.
You just have to approach everyone by their Instagram handle. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
yeah. I know you.
Yeah, that's why you keep your Instagram handle your name, right? Anyway, tangent. Who else is on the team? We've got Camila.
We have Camila, and then we have India Harvey.
Shout out India.
Shout out India.
Badass.
And then we have Alexa Alacron. She's from Chula Vista. We have Chapis. She's our youngest rider. She's a junior national track champion
Damn.
from Guadalajara,
Very
Mexico.
cool. Very cool.
Then we have Priscilla Garcia. She's out from Hermosillo, Mexico as well. Yeah.
India's from the East Coast, right?
India's,
Vermont?
yeah, from the
Vermont.
East Coast, but she lives here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's out here. I tell her, I'm like, all the time, I'm like, dude, you're just so strong for no reason. Like, she's just spinning, and I'm like, dude, I'm tired watching you spin. Like, she's so strong.
India is a sicko, like, on the bike. I think all of you guys are sickos on the bike, to be fair. Who are you beating in a race on the team?
Who am I?
Yeah.
I say...
Call him out. Challenge him right now.
Wait, who would I...
Who are you beating in a race on the
Beating?
team? Yeah.
Oh, Kylene.
Got him.
No, I don't know. I'm like, I feel like people are like, oh, you're so fast. And I'm like group ride fast, but like race fast, I'm like DFL every time. Like, put me to P123, like, I'm getting lapped for sure.
You support the other people.
Yeah.
That's
I
not
think,
the role.
Yeah, I think that knowing your role in a team, like specifically cycling, is super important, because then you can fulfill that role and let everybody else do their role. And then it's just like, okay, like, it's not my role to cross the line first, you know? Like, I'm not the finisher here, so...
You have to make sure that other people cross the line first.
Yeah.
But you do have a pretty important role within LABA. Like, I know that you're the person behind the Instagram. You are also the one doing a lot of the team logistics, right?
Yes.
You share that role with Erin, but I imagine you can dive deeper into that for us. Yeah.
So we kind of took it upon ourselves to manage the women's team. Just because during travel with like everybody else, we were kind of just like, like, let's dial it in. And there were a lot of people on our team, like with the men and the women's, because there was a bigger men's team, I would say, in the past 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just with logistics and everything, and just Aaron being so supportive of like women in cycling and just women in general, he was just like, you know, I really want to dial my efforts into, you know, the team and really see how far we can take it, because we have something special. And so I think that when you see that and you experience that and you contribute to it, you're just like, this is enough. Like, this is what, if we really focus on, we can make a lot of things happen, and not just for us, but like for everybody. So yeah, he and I manage the team together. We're doing logistics for travel. We're doing logistics for racing, like pretty much outlining a race calendar, trying to figure out what everybody's schedule will be, what everybody's availability is like, meetings, you know, things like that. Obviously talking with sponsors, getting new partners in, because there's no money in cycling.
It's tough.
It's tough. It's a really admirable thing to like be operating this brand, this entity, this team, because there's very little to go around. At least they say there's very little to go around.
There's very little to go around.
Yeah.
Or little available.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There should be more available.
Yeah. The allocations is hard. Lucy and I have both worked in marketing for a significant amount of time with brands, and it's like, it's tough to make the call, especially even if you have an emotional attachment to like the project that you want to pursue. The people above are going to be the ones to make the final say, and they're like, they don't see it the way we see it.
Yeah, I find it's easy sometimes for me to make the call, but it's tough to get other people to come on board with my decision or my thinking. And maybe I let things get a bit too personal or passionate sometimes, but I'm also like, no, I fully believe in this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't work in the cycling industry because sadly it doesn't pay well, but I work in it because it's really what I love doing and I enjoy it. And yeah, it's tough when you have to then make decisions like that where you know it makes sense, but it's hard because people are just looking at dollar signs.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like this is part of like the game that we all kind of have to figure out is like, okay, how to maintain longevity for like a brand or a team, like with connections outside of the industry, you know? I feel like it's more important to connect with people who have the actual passion for it still, because I feel like a lot of people do go in there being like, oh, like I'm going to get into this position and like this position pays well, you know, but it's like a lot of people who have more passion for it, I feel like are not in those positions. So it's like, okay, we see what's happening, like let's get some dialogue, like what can we do to make this thing last and not rely on everything that's, you know, laid out for us. How do we go beyond that, you know?
Yeah.
How do we do things differently? Because so many people like, this is the way we've done it for 20, 30, 40, 50 plus years. And it's like, well, actually, maybe we don't do it like that because that clearly hasn't worked very well in the past.
Yeah.
Let's try something fresh. Let's look at another sport discipline. Let's look at other communities outside of cycling.
Yes.
How can we learn from them? What are they doing good? And how can we use it in our space?
Yeah. And I feel like it's been really refreshing to have riders from different countries like in our space because they definitely have a different outlook on what the sport is. I feel like the pride for the sport in Mexico is a lot higher than what it is here because I feel like it's like a leisure, like a hobby. Like you could be a Cat 3 like as a weekend warrior and like but over there it's like you're a Cat 3 and you're doing like 15 hours on the bike, and it's just when they come and we start having discussions about the same problems that we're facing in the same industry, it's just like it's still a different perspective because of what cycling means to them like there, and then how they pursue it, you know, because some people like go to college, some people, you know, go pro. It's refreshing. It's refreshing to have the different perspectives, and it makes my brain kind of like think like, okay, so what can we do here that makes sense there, but also works like in the game of capitalism that basically runs this whole game. How are we breaking through?
Yeah. Are there any other spaces or sports or communities that you take inspirational learnings from? Have you managed to find ideas or think, they're doing great, let me see how we can pull that into LA Bike Academy and what we're doing?
I think that, well, just in general, I feel like weight training.
Yep.
You know, like people in the gym, like people, I'm on TikTok all day sometimes and I'm like, these girls could probably do so many watts on the bike and they don't even know. Like they're just working out, you know, some people have lifestyle, some people aesthetic, but I'm just like, wow, imagine if there was a watt bike in the gym and we just got everybody hyped up and we're like, who can do the most watts, you know? And I feel like it's just a matter of like the approach, you know, because you can really take it anywhere, but it's like, okay, like who's my audience? You know, like how am I going to break through here? Like what from my community does this community lack, and like vice versa, you know, like how could we complement each other? Because you could go anywhere. I mean, like Search for Speed did, you know, like soccer, you know, they went to boxing gyms. They were all over the place, like in the health industry, like
they just rocked up with a watt bike and were like, hey, ride this. I can't remember how long it was for, but like 10 seconds or something.
Yeah.
And it was like, maybe you could be a world-class athlete.
Exactly.
Have you done the watt bike yet?
No, I'm scared.
Have you done the watt bike?
I've done the watt bike.
The watt bike is a crazy thing.
The watt bike is a crazy thing.
My excuse is at the minute I can't be on the U.S. national team, so, you know, there's no
You're
point
like,
in me searching for that speed.
Fair enough. I feel like there's a huge avenue right now for women athletes in the sport, in the space of health and fitness in general, health and wellness, because we're starting to see like an influx of athletes diving into non-endemic partnerships. All right, Nike used to be in the World Tour of Cycling. They kind of have... Well,
they are back.
They are back.
Demi Vollering and FTC.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So they used to have freaking Lance, right? Ruined it for all of us, and they had Cav, and he was kind of like the last remnant of, you know, the late 2000s when they were actually making cycling for cycling's sake stuff. Now they make like, you know, indoor trainer shoes and the, you know, like kind of daily leggings and such. But spin class stuff. But they did get back into it with Demi, and she, you know, she's probably this generation's GOAT. For, I guess Marianne Vos is still in it, but Demi Vollering is the reigning actually not the reigning Tour de France champ
No.
because Kasia Niewiadoma
Yeah.
has that.
I mean, I think she's still on an upward trajectory of like becoming the biggest women's cycling star right now. And
Exactly.
I don't know, the Nike partnership announcement was interesting and it was big and I was like, oh, cool. But also I feel like I haven't really seen anything from it since.
Yeah, it's like, oh, hey, we're
True.
doing this thing.
Yeah.
Well,
but like, what have you
yeah,
done? Like,
like-
yeah, she wears a buff and I saw it on her Instagram the other day. She posted a photo of the neck tube thing and
Okay.
there's a Nike tick. And I'm like, oh yeah, Nike. But what
She
have they
did get
actually
the
done?
whole team set up with Nike as well, right? I think they gave them like an off-bike partnership. They got Nike sweats.
But
which-
then what is Nike doing with that to reach their audience?
Right. That
Elevate
has to, that's a question for the brand for sure. And a question for other brands who are looking to do the same thing. Because I think the bigger lesson overall is that cycling itself is not the draw to cycling. It's everything that the lifestyle of riding a bicycle comes with.
Definitely.
What I want to see, okay, I don't wear makeup. Basically, maybe if I'm going on a date night or going to a wedding, I'll put eyeliner on.
Mm-hmm.
I used to wear mascara, but I just put myself in the eye. Like, I don't know how to do
Me too.
makeup.
Me too.
The most amount of makeup I wear is moisturizer.
Okay.
But not every day. It's just,
Got a routine.
should
skin
probably put
routine.
some on my face
Yeah.
before I try. But I'm not a makeup person personally. However, things that I've seen really work well in other sports. Basketball, big LA Sparks fan.
Mhm.
They have a makeup sponsor.
Mm.
Same with Angel City, the women's football, soccer team in LA. They have a makeup sponsor.
Yeah.
And not that cyclists should be wearing makeup or, people can do what they want, but those sorts of partnerships.
Yeah, definitely.
That it's like, oh, it's not lycra, it's not helmets, it's not glasses,
Yeah.
it's not wheels, it's other stuff.
Mhm.
Luggage, maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah, you have like
Mhm.
bike bags, but what about backpacks? What about
You just
other
see-
elements of life? Maybe more like, oh, his Samsung Galaxies for the team or whatever it is.
Right.
But
Here's our
that-
petition for LABA to get Remova like, cases
I'm
for
in. Yeah.
your
Hell
travel.
yeah. Anything else you want?
Yeah, I'm gonna
to
send you
the
guys my sponsor
Yeah.
deck.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but we talk about cycling brands not having that much money, and the world is in a very interesting place right now. But if we can bring other brands into
Yeah.
cycling that aren't cycling specific, surely it's going to help the brand, and it's going to help the team, and it's going to help the sport grow.
And I think you nailed it on the head when you said it's about making it a lifestyle brand, because cycling is a lifestyle, right? Like if you break it down, like either if you're training or just riding leisurely, like I plan my whole day around my rides. I'm like, I know that I'm going to be hungry before and I'm going to be hungry after. And I also know I have other things I have to do later on. So I can't go past a certain point of exertion because then I'm not going to have any energy to, whatever. So I feel like, yeah, like you adopt certain things into your routine and then it becomes your regimen. And then you're just like, oh, I need X, Y, and Z. So one thing that I was thinking of was I recently picked up like this sunscreen stick.
Mhm.
Have you seen like the little yellow ones?
Yeah, like
They look like little deodorants.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
But they're for your face. I was like, oh, we should hit them up,
Hell
because
yeah. Sunbomb.
I absolutely need sunscreen on my face. Like it's no joke. You need sunscreen if you're going to be riding out here. You're going to
For
get
sure.
burnt.
For
So
sure.
just like finding the little things like that. Yeah, like the makeup, all the things that you don't think the rider needs, but needs as like a person. Because at the end of the day, you take off your lycra and you're still just, a regular person.
Yeah.
So it's like, what does that person need to make sure that they can, ride their bike happily?
Yeah, and kind of the ease of the rest of the life.
Exactly.
There are some cycling specific sun cream brands.
Mhm.
However, maybe some non-cycling specific sun
Exactly.
cream brands would actually be better in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
It helps them show, hey, we're not just lifestyle, we actually can be used for serious activities
Mhm.
as well. Yeah, anyone know any contacts at sun cream brands? othersidecycling@gmail.com and we'll forward it on.
That is something that we should shout out as we get closer to the peak summer months. Wear your goddamn sunscreen, y'all. Protect
Literally.
your skin. Don't get cancer. To kind of dial it back, bring it back to the sponsors that are on the table. You guys have a pretty good list of people supporting you.
Yeah.
Do you want to rifle them off? Give them a little shout?
Yeah. So we have Cannondale, which provide our frames. SRAM community programs also has helped us for the past 4 or 5 years. We have Hunt. Obviously, Hunt's a very good friend of ours, local, so we know Ken very well. Shout out Ken.
We're hoping to get him on the podcast too.
Yeah, you need Ken on the podcast.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah, very soft-spoken gentleman. But we've talked about Hunt quite a bit. I feel like it should come from his mouth and not ours.
Yeah, definitely. He's the expert here.
Yeah, exactly.
I just ride the wheels. I don't know.
Yeah, right?
No, I'm just
right? I'm just happy about the hub.
Yeah. Cannondale, SRAM, Hunt. I think I saw you guys also got glasses recently.
Yes. So we purchased with Sycon. Sycon really helped us out also with some travel cases, bike travel cases, and then we got these super cool backpacks that you were talking about backpacks earlier.
I love a backpack.
Oh my gosh, there's so many pockets. It's like, and it's so cute because everything's labeled too. So it's like, how could you mess it up? Like, you know, this is where your clothes go, this is where your documents go, you know? So
damn, document? Like,
oh, it's sick.
You put your manifest in the bag. Like
shopping list for the other brands.
Yeah, exactly. You know, as someone who, like, I'm pretty organized, but if you really know me, I'm kind of a mess. If I were to get a bag like that, I have had like a team duffel that has like, oh, you should, like, it's, you know, a helmet pocket and then shoe pocket. It's like, fill this one first, fill this one next. Don't tell me what to do.
Don't tell me what to do. I parent. Don't tell me what to do.
Sponsor correct. I don't care. I'm putting these here because it makes more sense for my day.
Yeah, but have you ever shown up to a ride or a race or an event without something you really need, like shoes or your helmet? Or
I've done that
every time.
I've done that last year at the Barry Wolf Grand Prix, which is in Thousand Oaks, which is like 60 miles from where I live. Damn. And I show up and I'm like, yo, I didn't bring my shoes. And I use the Wahoo Speed Plays, so it's not like I can be like, common. You know, it's not. So, freaking shout out Sarah, because my friend Sarah actually let me borrow her shoes and her pedals for this race. Yeah, and it was probably like one of my best races.
Sick.
Yeah, to date. So that's not in finish, but just hanging in there.
Yeah.
with the big girls. So
that's so sick.
Yeah.
The community helps out. Sucks to do that. Like, I feel that I've left helmets off the table, and it's like you kind of need those things to do it. So I guess maybe the lesson is bags labeled, appropriately filled, actually a really useful thing. Night before, 2 nights before.
2 nights is risky though, because then you think, oh, did I pack it? Did I not? Whereas if it's the night before, you have your checklist.
And then you put that checklist in the document.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sick. Okay. Anyone else supporting LA Bicycle Academy women's team this year?
Yeah, we have a lot of people supporting us.
Beautiful.
We have our, he's like our uncle, like our team uncle, Mr. Dave Pulliam. He's been supporting LABA for quite some time. Him and the founder have a lot of history. But they date back to riding Major Motion when they were operating. Even juniors like Corinne Rivera, Kendall Ryan, Corey Williams, all of them, they trained under Dave Pulliam. So he's one of our biggest supporters, especially on the track. Has helped out with funding and things like that, but just more wisdom. He's one of our gems. We love him. We do have a lot of support from shops around here. I know that we had this architect company that was acquired too as a partner. Physique was also working with us on a couple things. And yeah, just trying to find more, make that list never ending.
Yeah. I think I see on your guys' kit Team Dream, right?
Oh yeah, Sean and
Combos?
Danny. Yeah, they make our kits.
They're wonderful people.
Yeah, they're great, and they've always been really supportive of us, with their LA Invitational rides, with donations and letting us do bike washes after the rides and stuff like that, which is really fun. A lot of work, but
huge.
That's coming up soon, isn't it? The LA Invitational.
Mm-hmm. May 31st.
Sweet.
Yeah.
They're dropping the details for that on the It's Not a Bike Shop Instagram, I imagine.
Yes.
I think they
teased
It's
on there as of a couple of days ago. Or maybe it was a tease.
I think it might have been a tease, and I think they shouted you guys out as well on
yeah.
that. We'll put a link to that in the description. And
yeah,
share
definitely.
the
Pull
details.
up, get your bike washed.
Sick.
Because we'll be washing bikes too. So.
Sick.
Yeah.
My bike needs washing.
Yes.
Probably wash it before then.
That's a
but
gravel ride, right?
It's a gravel ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty insane.
It's a little hectic.
Yeah, lots of elevation, very steep segments.
Yeah.
And
Do you
on
have
dirt.
you have to be invited to do it, or is it an open invite?
No, you have.
Yeah.
It's
You have to
the
be invited.
You do? No. No, it's called an
You get an
invitational
invitation
because
in the
the
mail.
whole event is inviting you to join.
Yeah.
I've never done it.
Because it's
I don't
crazy
ride
because
gravel.
people from like all over
They fly
come
in.
for it. Yeah. Like
I
there's
think the
been
Blue Lug people came
Blue
last
Lug
year.
people. Yeah. A lot of people from the East Coast. Because then they do the 2-day event. So it's like the ride on Saturday and then the
They
like
have
the car
swap
show
meet,
and the
car-
swap
yeah.
meet.
Right, the
Yeah,
swap meet.
the party.
That's probably the part that
Yeah.
I'm most interested in personally, but I think that's around the same dates as Unbound this year.
Hmm.
Unbound is
End of
May
May.
29th through June 1st, something like that.
Yeah. It's that
Yeah.
weekend.
Well, I'll know where I'll be that weekend.
Yeah.
No, I'm bound. Probably.
Fair. We'll see. To be determined.
TBD. But if people are around LA or people have the opportunity to come to LA for that weekend, then they absolutely should.
Yeah.
I think if you want to join the ride, you have to sign up whenever that is actually announced.
Yeah.
Because they have to control how many people do it. But it looks like hella fun. And yeah, put it in your diary.
Yeah. If you like to suffer.
Speaking of suffering, I think that takes us pretty easily into the next segment, which is the staples. Things that we've been doing on the bike. I think we'd like to focus more on what you've been up to on the bike and what your team has been up to. It sounds like you guys just came off of a team camp,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Sick. Where was it?
We spent 4 days over in Mid-City.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
so we were like by the beach. What did we do? I mean, we were like nearby, but we drove over to like Sunset and did Griffith for a little bit. It's kind of weird weather this weekend, but yeah, like did a coastal route and then like a city route and just did a lot of off the bike stuff too. We hadn't seen each other since February, so
Oh,
it was
wow.
like, okay, now we're all together. It's time to work a little bit. So there's a lot of work and play, but all fun.
So it's not that often that the whole team actually gets to link up, right?
No, it's
Especially
not.
with people coming from Mexico.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And the youngest rider, her name's Chappies. She's the busiest one because she'll be racing out in like Europe. And, you know, she's just like, she was just did the Pan Am Champs over
wow.
in Paraguay.
Wow.
Yeah.
sick.
So she can commit to something and then, you know, that might not be in the schedule because she gets called to do a lot of more like elite
More
level
important
racing.
things.
Yeah. More important things. She's our superstar. So
Fair.
we support.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it's nice to have everybody together. And then I just feel like there's a core of us here, but then it's like nice to bring people out. They'll be like, oh, you know, are we going to go see like this or that? And we're like, yes, come on. Like, it's this way. It's not that far, you know, and everybody's
bit of
down to
tourism.
ride. Yeah, like everybody's down to be on the bike, you know? So it's cool to just kind of like take it easy, look around, and just like really absorb. Like, it's one thing when you're doing like ponies with the people that you see on Wednesdays, but I felt like, these are like my family, you know? Like, I get to show them around and get to, you know, do what I do on a regular basis, but like, it just felt more special with them, yeah.
What were the places on the list? Where did people want to go?
Let me think. I know they definitely wanted to do the beach and then just to like see the Hollywood sign and then Griffith Park, like Elysian. They just, you know, the sights.
You have to.
Yeah,
You have to.
you really have to. It's so easy
You
on a
guys
bike.
rode up Mount Lee to get to the backside of the Hollywood sign or not?
No, we didn't go to the Hollywood sign.
Oh.
I just saw
We
it.
seen it.
Yeah.
That's
Close
enough.
enough.
We looked, yeah.
You can't get too close because it's pretty big.
It's a horrible ride. We were talking about how like
It's steep.
overrated it is.
The descent coming down from the Hollywood sign is
It's dangerous.
too dangerous.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, like I don't think you're allowed to make, unless you do a manual route on Strava, you can't route it to the top of Mount Lee, which is the Hollywood sign climb.
Because it's private?
No, because I think it's been rated, like the route itself has been rated as like not safe to use for bikes. Like you can,
Well, the road is
the road is sketch.
It's basically
Yeah.
gravel.
It is
Yeah.
it is gravel.
it's a gravel ride.
I
And
like to go
also-
up it just because it's in my backyard. Maybe you guys could have just hiked up it as tourists.
Maybe.
But you saw it and that was
You
fine.
saw it. That's
We've
close
seen
enough.
it from a distance. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was good.
It's really
It
not
was
that
great.
spectacular. It's really not that spectacular. What else was on the list? Hollywood sign,
Griffith.
Griffith.
I don't think we did Elysian. But we definitely stopped by because everyone's like coffee ride, and we're like, yeah. So we stopped by a picnic.
Oh,
The
sweet.
drinks there are always super tasty.
Yep, solid.
Yeah.
Sunset has like gotten so dense with quality coffee shops.
Yeah.
Like I mean LA in general has like had so many good coffee shops for so long. You know, there's like the boutique ones like Heavy Water who do their own roasting. That's all the way out. Like it's off of Sunset but down in Chinatown. There's Picnic, which isn't necessarily boutique coffee. They get Proud Mary from Oregon, but I think their like pastry selection is really good, and they're next to a couple of running shops, so they build community really well. Dayglow is right there, like a block away.
There's a Dayglow opening in Venice. I'm
What
very
is
excited.
Dayglow?
Dayglow is
It's like
just
a
another.
specialty
Yeah.
coffee. Like, I'm not normally a specialty coffee gal. I'm not a pumpkin spice latte person at all. Like, just give me coffee.
That ain't specialty
Maybe like
coffee, though.
no, but the flavors, whatever you want to
Right.
call it, like
Like the
lavender.
seasonal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not me. But one time I went to Dayglow, my girlfriend got, I think it was a black sesame drink. I can't remember the name of it,
Yep.
but it was fucking incredible. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna go back and buy my own one of these because it was so good. And they do this crazy, like, they call it distilled coffee. So
Okay.
similar how they like distill alcohol.
Mhm.
It's not alcoholic, but it's clear. It's still coffee.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like science.
Do
Interesting.
you want to
Um,
go there after we record?
Maybe. It's
right
really
up- it's right
good.
up the street.
I don't know when the Venice one is opening, but it's quite close to my house, and maybe it's a bad thing it's opening close to my house. Yeah, Dayglow, you should try it.
Yeah,
They have
maybe I
some
will.
like really cool things.
Yeah, I think I've heard somebody say it, and like, I don't know. This is so stupid. I don't know why I confused it with dry bar.
Like the
I'm like,
hairdresser?
yeah. I'm like, I don't know why that. Like, definitely not that.
Sugared and bronzed, but it's coffee.
Sometimes those things,
They intersect. Like, you're like,
yeah, or you
"Hmm."
see the name for something and you're like, oh, that must be this thing, but it's something completely different.
Yeah.
Face gym. What would you think face gym is?
Face gym.
Face gym.
Mm.
This is not an advert for them.
Is it a lip lift?
It's kinda
facelift
like
kinda thing?
A massage, but just for your face.
Oh, got
and they
it.
like use
Like the
different.
buccal
instrum-
massages and
I
all
don't-
that.
They
Oh.
use like
Washa.
different instruments, not musical instruments, but like I don't know.
Gemstones to like kind of.
Yeah, I think that can
polish
be
you.
added, and I'm like, maybe that feels really good for my TMJ
Face
issues. So,
gym.
yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen like you've never seen the buccal massages, where
No.
they like massage the inside of your cheeks?
Oh, I think
Is
they
this
do
like
it at
popular
Face
on
Gym.
TikTok?
Maybe.
Face
Enough.
Gym sponsor LA Bicycle Academy.
Yeah.
They just sold.
No, but this
They
is
just sold
what
a membership for y'all.
No, yeah, literally,
Well, like
it's good.
being sponsored by like a sauna company. You know, there's like sauna places you can go for like a 40-minute session, just
Yeah.
sweat it out for recovery.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of thing should happen more.
Yeah.
Picnic coffee, bringing it back to coffee. Picnic coffee is where we had our first podcast meeting about let's make this happen. We went to Picnic. It was very exciting. Anyway, coffee chat.
Riding wise, you did some cafe riding. You got to see some of the local stuff. Do you have a favorite route that you do?
No,
Fair.
I just
don't
like
have
to
that.
be outside. There's options, you know, like I have too many options to have a favorite. I have like a preference on like where I ride or who I ride with, you know,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, very. Valid.
I'm just like, if I'm outside, it's fine. You know, I live right in front of Benelli Regional Park.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
I love Benelli.
Yeah, so it's like, if I'm like, what do I do? And I'm like, dude, go through your 3 laps and shut up. Like, just go
Yeah,
home. Like, it's
do it.
right there, you know?
Benelli is going to be the site of the mountain bike short track.
Oh, really?
For the Olympics. Yeah.
No
as
way.
far as I know, that is the likely thing. The World Cup used to actually have a race at Benelli
Wow, that's
Hmm.
cool.
back in the day. So
That's very cool.
yeah, it's very cool. You mentioned ponies quite a few times actually. We rode marginally together this morning. I didn't actually do the ponies route, but we linked up at the top. Today was a special edition of Panda's Ponies. Today we're recording on April 30th. It is the anniversary of the passing of one of LA's legendary community leaders, John Hermosa. He was loved and known as Panda. I never got to meet him. Did you ever get to meet Panda?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did a couple times when I had came out to ponies.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just always like very friendly, like very welcoming. Like, I don't know you, but like you're on your bike, so now we're friends. Now we know each other.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like his reach is super impactful in ways that you don't really expect. I feel like that's kind of just like when you meet a special person like that, you're just kind of like, you see bits and pieces of it. For example, my buddy who works at in Cycle San Dimas. One day we're, hanging out, and then he pulls out a bike from his, car, and I'm like, oh, that's a crazy paint job. Like, and he's like, oh yeah, this is one of Panda's bikes. And I'm like, what? Like, you knew him too? Like, and he's like, yeah, we were so close. And then, he just goes down his, list of memories, and I'm like, wow. Like, even today, I'm just like, this is crazy. Like, the type of impact that you have to have on people, like, for them to continue to keep your legacy alive, like, I don't know. That's so cool.
It says a lot that, I'm getting emotional hearing this about him, and it's just like my close friends here in LA were all very close with him as well, like hanging out at his house on the weekends. It's like, you'll know Panda's impact in LA if you ever come visit. If you're around, you'll see people with like a Panda sticker on the helmet, Panda sticker on the bike. Even people who don't know him, like myself, like it feels
like
the legacy.
Yeah, it feels like his spirit just lives on, it's beautiful that they always memorialize him on his birthday and on the day of his passing, because it just goes to show how big of an impact that he made. Panda's Ponies on these days, where everyone decidedly takes it slow and just appreciates everyone around them, to be able to link up with people and have those morning, like, hey, how you doing today? What have you been up to? Are we going to ride together later this week? Do you want to do something off the bike? We forget sometimes, as people who dedicate our lifestyles to cycling, that there is life off of the bike as well. And those are those cherished moments where you are on the bike, sharing that time with people to kind of have that connection and catch up on the things that are not bike related.
And it's also just the simplicity of riding a bike. We don't have to be riding it fast or racing or doing it in any specific way, but it's more just physically being on a bike. Yeah. And
just out there able.
Yeah. Because we can.
Able-bodied, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Special moment of silence for Panda. Well, it was really nice to see you this morning. Well, I think we had like a brief moment where it was like, oh, we have the podcast to record later.
Don't forget.
Don't forget. Shoot. Is there anything that you need? Timing's still good? Timing still works? I think Ponies is just a nice place for everyone to meet up and have a chat. Like this morning at the top of the climb, it was rainy, foggy.
It was rainy.
Yeah. It was
sprinkling. I even said that. I was like, it was raining up there.
Yeah. It's not like what we're used to from like the Atlantic, how that pours, but it was definitely
LA rain.
Slick.
Raining in LA, yeah.
It was slick.
Greasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like Saturday in LA. People were just like, oh, what do we do? It's raining.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time. Even me, I'm like, what? Where's the blue skies?
Where am I supposed to go?
Yeah, I'm like, what do I do today?
I had a friend staying with me, and we were like, oh, what do we do? What do we do now? We were going to go for a walk on the beach.
Yeah,
and
literally.
We were going to go get our nails done.
No, I have to wear my jacket.
Yeah. Like, didn't bring a jacket.
Yeah, it just didn't go in my outfit.
Don't know where my waterproof is. Do I even have
literally.
One? Don't own an umbrella. But then 1 hour, maybe 2, it stopped. And we're like, oh, just kidding. It's all good.
We'll be fine.
The sun starts coming out. Like after 1, you're like, what the heck? It's like 80 degrees all of a sudden. Like
you're like, did that just happen? Or did we just make that up?
No, yeah. I feel that.
I have become so soft since moving to LA. I'm from England originally, and yeah, I'm a baby now.
Yeah.
It's tough.
We're spoiled.
Yeah.
We're just so spoiled over here.
I mean, I'm on the west side, so I get the marine layer. And yeah, even this morning, up until when I came over to this side of town, I was like, oh, it's great, it's cold, and
yeah.
And I got out the car, and I'm like,
yeah, that's how I felt. I was like, okay, this is amazing. I love this.
Too bad.
Yeah.
This ain't too bad.
But it keeps it real.
Rain, muddy, gritty rides are cool, but I don't need that, and I think that's why I avoid gravel, personally.
Like, you need to try gravel, I think.
I've tried. I've dabbled.
Are you a gravel person?
I'm not a gravel person officially. But I've dabbled.
Dabbled in the gravels?
Yeah. I've taken the road bike through some dirt here and there.
See? That's what I'm talking about. The road bike is a gravel bike if you're a good enough bike handler.
Yeah, if you're a good enough bike handler.
I'm not. I don't know.
My partner has a bike, 28 mil tires are like the biggest she can put on.
Okay.
And we go on gravel rides, and I'm on my gravel-specific gravel bike.
Yeah.
My black cart with the gravel wheels on there. Shout out Hunt. and she's on her road bike and she's like handling it better than me, and I'm like, oh, this bit's kind of scary. She's like crushing. I'm like, okay, bye. The tire clearances that you can get on road bikes nowadays make them super capable.
Yeah.
So
I think you can go up to like a 32 on certain frames.
yeah, it depends.
Yeah.
Tire rim width combination, but I mean 32, and especially for the gravel that we have in LA, Southern California, it's like that dusty gravel. So most of the time you'd be absolutely fine on that. Gravel
As long
in
as it doesn't
England.
turn into sand, dog.
Yeah, but then you could just cyclocross style it, run with the bike.
Oh God.
Gravel in England is basically just mud.
Okay.
There's no gravel. There's
no
like,
gravel.
Dust. There's no like perfect dusty gravel.
Farm manure
Yeah.
that's turned into sludge.
It's just mud. Or you could say that the roads in England are kind of like gravel because they're really quite badly surfaced. Like a lot of potholes, but also rough. Like when Pro Tour riders come to the UK, they kind of say how do they describe it? They kind of say the road like drags.
Interesting.
Like it's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, you just think of bad roads in LA.
Yeah.
But it's like everywhere in the UK that is like that.
I would say that there's a lot of LA roads that have that reputation as well. Like we were just talking about the Hollywood sign climb, and
But that's
is-
gravel.
Well,
Even
it
in
is-
Griffith.
exactly.
There are some
Even
roads.
Griffith, when it gets wet, there are sections of Griffith that if you aren't prepared for the mud, it's gonna kind of snag you, and you're just like, oh.
But that's when it rains, which is, I don't know, probably count on my hands the amount of times that happens per year.
True.
But I don't know, the riding out here, the gravel riding out here is very nice. I mean, I haven't actually done it that much this year because of all the fires.
Yeah.
And, like the
it was
west
a rough
side
start this year.
Yeah, I'm itching to get back on the gravel again. I'm thinking about going to Catalina Island again.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Really
Didn't
quick.
you say you have a friend with a boat?
Yeah,
I
I just made a friend with a boat, friend of a friend,
We
but
love
we're now friends.
with boats.
Yeah, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll go to Catalina."
Oh, wow.
So we should go.
I've never been.
You need a gravel bike, absolutely.
You know,
That
I
will-
could find a gravel bike.
Yeah, that might be tough on a road bike on that gravel. It's pretty gnarly, and they're also buffalo,
Yes.
which I'm excited to go back to Catalina, but I'm still
You've
a little
been?
bit scared. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went a couple years ago, and it was incredible. Super tough day, but incredible riding. And Catalina Island is just this kind of special, but also like interesting place because it's literally an island off California. So there are some cars, but most people get about on the island with like golf carts.
Okay.
And then there's like a grocery store. It's also just still such a small place, but there's a couple of incredible food places. There's this amazing dive bar that I found.
Oh, yeah.
And
It's like very small, towny still.
yeah, but charming.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's time to go back, I think. There's like wild buffalo, bison roaming the island. Apparently they got brought there in 19 something for a film, and then they never got taken off.
Wow.
So yeah,
pretty
very,
hard to,
very America of us.
yeah.
Yeah. Leave them there.
Just leave them.
Forget it.
They'll reproduce.
You know, where I'm from, buffalo can swim.
What?
Yeah, water buffalo.
Oh yeah. Thankfully, these buffalo don't seem to be able to swim. So
They're extras. They don't swim.
Then land.
They weren't
buffalo.
paid enough. They weren't paid enough. You couldn't pay for the swimming type, the carabao.
No, I think that's good. They don't swim.
So, are any of the LA Bicycle Academy riders, men or women's team, inclined to do gravel at all?
I know Priscilla, she dabbles.
Yeah.
Camila, she's just down for anything.
Yeah.
India plays. Aaron is like a cyclocross
Yeah.
superstar.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so he actually takes the kids to races. Like one of the alumni ended up doing a couple cyclocross races with him. I don't know if you know Diego.
Yeah. Diego Rivera.
Diego Rivera.
Yep.
He'll do some of those.
I know Nick is always wheeling.
Nick
and
is
he
always
loves
wheeling.
cyclocross, I hear.
Yeah, he's taken me through some fun dirt in Griffith, like to the back, like I don't know, it was like the base of the Hollywood sign, but like through this little cut.
We call that illicit Griffith.
Oh.
I'm not a park ranger, so we don't.
Oops.
You didn't.
We'll cut that.
Nick never took you there.
It wasn't that one. It was another one.
Yeah.
It was another one.
There's other ways.
There's other ways. Yeah, who else does gravel? Choppies was into mountain biking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she raced mountain biking for a little bit.
That's
Because
crazy.
everybody kind of just like plays around, but it's mostly road and track.
Cool.
Yeah, road and
Yeah.
track.
There's already a whole lot on anyone's plate if you're doing road and
Yeah.
or track.
Gravel is definitely less of a team-oriented thing, although there still are team tactics with it.
That's a whole other topic.
It's cool to hear that, you know, you've been enjoying your riding and that the team got together.
Yeah.
Team camps, to kind of circle back to where this started, they aren't always like designed to be super riding forward. But when the team can get together and get some miles in and just like bond and build that camaraderie,
Yeah,
it's super
definitely.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's nice to just share a household with your teammates, you know,
Yeah.
because it's like, I mean, you can race and you can be there on like, you know, race day with your teammates, but I feel like in Spanish, it's conviviendo. So just like coexisting, you know, just being with each other. I feel like that definitely helps bring us together when we are on the bike, because it's like, when you're around your loved ones, you look out, right? You take care. It's like, oh, if she woke up 10 minutes after me, I'm going to ask her if she wants me to make her some eggs, or if he wants coffee, or, you know, like that translates to the bike.
Totally.
And I feel like I wouldn't say it so confidently if I hadn't seen it. But that's just like the magic of our team. It's like everything that we do closely knit off the bike is translated into something so beautiful when we do get out there. And it's almost like winning has not always been like the main focus for us. You know, like we do get wins and we do get some pretty spectacular results, but it's more like that bond where when we do come together, it's like, oh my God, like I'm catching, you know, this girl up on my life for an hour because I haven't seen her in so long, and it's been like 3 months, you know, and then it's just like, okay, we get on the bike and then now it's time to work. But I also know she's not going to be a dog and leave me behind, you know, she's going to make sure even if I'm struggling, you know, like that I'm good, you know. So it's nice. The team dynamic and the team aspect of, I think, being an adult and having a team that's not just like there for, you know, the praise or whatever on Instagram, like, is so much cooler.
It's like your chosen family almost.
It is because these people like make the dedication year after year, and it's been like 3 years for some of us. So it's like, oh, this is real. Like, you're not just it's not just a phase, you know, or it's not just like, oh, I found this thing that I was doing for like 2 years and now I'm just like, okay, like on to the next thing. It's like, no, this is actually super fruitful, like in multiple ways, like not just in my fitness, you know, like
people are growing together.
Yeah. I'm like, we're building something, like, so it feels good.
What advice do you have for people that are thinking of starting to race or getting into that whole area of cycling? Do you have anything in particular, like 1 or 2 top tips?
I would say definitely ask for help. Ask for feedback, be open to constructive criticism, and don't be afraid to be afraid, because racing is scary. But I feel like more than anything, doing all of this is like a mind state, right? So it's like, I've been trying to go from like, oh, it's a race to like, it's just a glorified group ride, you know, like, and I'm just here with like the 8 a.m. group, you know, like we're just going to go hard for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever. And that's going to be it. Like, but I think that I've had to do that because I get so much, you know, anxiety, or like the week before, like I'll start thinking about it. I'm like, oh my God, my heart rate is up. Like I'm thinking about how I'm going to finish at a certain race that hasn't even happened, you know, and I'm just like, so yeah, I think just not being afraid to be afraid, and not being afraid to like ask questions and to like lean on people, because that's really what community is. Like that's really why we are all still here, is just to be our best selves in case somebody, you know, may need you. Like, yeah. And that may not be like the primary focus of being good for yourself, but it's just like, I feel like once you are good for yourself and you see that you can have a positive effect on others, you're just like, yeah, I like this. Like this works.
And it gives you the confidence, like you were saying about team camp and spending that time together. You know someone has your back.
Yeah, exactly.
People understand you and you understand your teammates better because of that, because of the conversations that you have off the bike. Maybe it's about cycling, maybe it's about life outside of cycling, but it kind of, connects us together. Mm-hmm. One more question from me. Do you have advice for people wanting to start their own team or maybe club? Is there any advice you would give someone?
I think just keep riding. Just keep riding with your friends. Like, if there's people that are consistently showing up with you or for you, then, like, you know, you can make something out of that. Talk to people. Like, talk to people that you don't know, that you think are weird, or that you may think they think you're weird. But, like, yeah, just, like, networking, really. And for me, everything that has come to me, like, from cycling is literally just because I've been riding. Like, if it's for you, it'll come, you know? Yeah. Like, if that's what you want, then just keep your head down, keep riding, like, it'll come. That's really what I could say. Just keep riding.
Ride your damn bike.
Ride your damn bike.
Yeah. It might help. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think normally we do a segment called Transplant Talk because it's more dedicated to stuff off of the bike. But this is a pretty bike-focused episode in general. And like we said at the beginning, you're actually a Southern California local, so you're not really a transplant. There's not really much to go off on that. So I think we should jump into kind of our rapid fire segment to kind of start wrapping things up. We normally start by asking people SRAM or Shimano, but I don't think we need to this time.
Sponsor correct.
So let's move on from that. But we want to know, Giro, Tour, or Vuelta in the World Tour, which of those 3 Grand Tours would you either want to race or watch? What do you prefer?
I'm so uncultured.
We can skip that, Chris.
We could skip
like,
that question.
I ride, but, like, when it comes to the sport, like, I'm not there. You know, like, I'm not there. It doesn't have my attention in that way.
That's huge.
You have other things to...
I'm a mother, too. So, like, my son's soccer, like, that's the sport that I love, you know? So it's like... this and that, like, I wish I knew what people would, like, when you guys started talking about, like, Demi and all that, I was like,
well, okay.
That's okay.
I'm gonna put the headphones on for this.
That's the beautiful thing. It's like, all right, we don't have to talk about cycling all the time. Like, yeah. All right, let's frame it around soccer then. Let's frame it around football. Like, would you rather go see an MLS game or go see, like, a World Cup game?
Ooh. I feel like MLS.
Really?
Like, just to be obnoxious? Yeah, I feel like MLS because that's, like, the level of it that I understand, right? So I'm not just going to be like, oh, World Cup or World Tour. Like, I'm going to go to Tour de France and, like, then I get there and I'm like, what's going on? You know, I'm like, So I think, like, just because my son talks about MLS right now, like...
Who does your son support?
He's, like, Messi, Ronaldo, like, Cristiano Ronaldo, his, like, number one.
Yeah.
Have you taken him to see an Angel City game, the women's LA team?
I haven't. You know,
go.
I didn't even know they had one.
They play at BMO Stadium.
Yeah, at the LAFC.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
And it's such a good atmosphere. Like,
that's what I heard.
It's just children and women. And it's such a good environment. Yeah. And it's like... It's just a celebration.
It's a different vibe.
Yeah, it's a different vibe. And, you know, I've been to many different football games in the UK. It's very different to what it is here for many different reasons. But I highly recommend, even if anyone isn't interested in soccer, going to see Angel City if you live in LA. It's such a fun vibe.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And probably cheaper than the men's tickets. But
well, we've taken them to the men's games, and those are super rowdy.
Yeah.
The LAFC games.
I mean, the women's ones get rowdy too.
Do they?
Yeah. But like...
Do they have like the whole...
They have the supporters section with the drums and they let...
Oh, awesome.
When they score a goal, they let off like flares and stuff. And then, yeah, it's really cool. Just, yeah.
Cool. Thanks for letting me know about that.
Yeah.
What position does your son play on the field?
He plays striker.
Dang.
Yeah, he plays striker. Yeah, he's a little superstar.
On the attack?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite memory of him like scoring a goal or making a sick play?
So recently he had a minor head injury. So he was off for like a month and a half.
Damn.
And like I've been off the bike from an injury and like my mental, like it plays with my mental state. So I was like kind of worried for him, but we took it really well and he was really patient with like his healing process and everything. Like I gotta go get my checkup and blah, blah, blah.
Hell yeah.
So when he goes back, his first scrimmage, he's like, I'm going to score 2 goals tomorrow. Like, he slept over at my house. He slept over at my house. He's like, I'm going to score 2 goals tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, you are. And it's his first scrimmage back. Like, usually he's playing, like, 3 games a weekend, you know. So I'm like, okay, low pressure, you know. Like, he's saying he's going to score 3 goals. But, you know, yeah, you are, you know.
Yeah.
So he ends up scoring 3.
Oh, yeah.
Dang,
Yeah.
hat trick.
Hat trick.
Hat trick.
Yeah, and he, like, it's so
sick.
funny because every time he scores a goal, he just looks at his dad. He's like...
Hell yeah.
He's like, I don't need to celebrate.
Yeah. It's just like all nonverbal. Like, you seen that? Yeah.
Wow.
Very cool.
Yes.
I love that energy. I want to use that in my life. I'm going to go do this thing, and then I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I know if I ever get back into racing bikes and I say, I'm going to win 3 preems today, I'm not winning a damn thing.
That's not the attitude, Patrick.
I'm just saying. Okay, back to the rapid fire questions.
Who would you love to go on a bike ride with?
My grandpa.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Did he ride?
Yeah, he did. And it was funny because I feel like I didn't connect that until like 2 years into riding. And I'm like, when we were younger, why didn't anybody show us like these paths or like the river path? Like, you know, everything is like accessible. But yeah, my grandpa always rode his bike. Like, he stopped driving like a long time ago. And then he was just on his bike since I could remember, like the hub, the noise, like the whiny noise, like that's when we knew he was, you know, pulling up to our home. Yeah. And then he had like a bag of pan dulce, like sweet bread.
Oh, yeah.
And so and then he'd do like a little whistle, like, so it's like those 3 things. It's like, and when I started riding on the track, I was like, oh, like, look at this video of me or whatever. And he's just like, oh, yeah, the velodrome. Like, they had one in my hometown and this and that. I'm like, you know about this? Like, because I was just like, I was discovering so much so fast. And I was just like, who do I talk to in my family that gets this? Because my parents are just like, oh, yeah, crazy ride. You know, you did 100 miles. Like, cool. But my grandpa actually, like, when I would bring things up to him, there was always, like, substance or context or a personal experience. So I feel like, yeah, he passed 2 years ago. So I feel like if I could ride with anybody, it'd probably be with him because you have some pretty interesting conversations on your bike rides. So it's like, I wonder, you know, what kind of topics would, you know, come up if we were to be up climbing some steep mountain together.
That's a beautiful answer. I love that.
I love that.
That's cool. Where is his hometown?
He's from Zamora, Michoacan.
Okay, that's cool. Down in Mexico.
Yeah.
Michoacan. They had a velodrome down there?
They had a velodrome down there.
Sick.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like, through my teammates and everything, like, I've grown a lot of pride for Mexico, like, as, like, where I come from, because I feel like, I don't know if you guys want to cut this, but I just feel like I was really whitewashed when I was younger.
That's fair.
And, like, growing up, it wasn't, like, cool to be Hispanic, right? Like, particularly in my experience. And so now it's, like, I see these girls and they're younger than me and, you know, like, their parents are putting them in positions, like, you know, also the country has, like, you know, we have USA Cycling, like, their organization is just like, I don't know, it just amazed me, like, to see the dedication and, like, to see just the ways that they maneuvered through everything. And I'm just like, wow, like, this makes me, like, have a lot of pride and, like, a lot of respect for, you know, like, my country, because I see these girls and I'm just like, I have to be proud, you know, like, I'm proud of them, but, like, I'm also proud that, like, this is where, you know, where we come from.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool.
That's huge. That's actually a really important thing to note, because being cultured, being from, like, an ethnic background or outside of, like, the white American experience, like, that's an identity that a lot of us have, like, I mean, yourself, myself included, like, I've struggled to embrace my Filipino culture. And I think later in, like, my adulthood, I've been like, yeah, actually, why am I hiding this fact? Like, if I speak to someone Filipino for long enough, my Filipino accent, like, that, like, my parents and, like, talking to my family will, like, just seep into my English. And I'm like, holy crap. It's, like, not embarrassed by it, but it's just, like, that's part of you. Yeah. Right? And then to also have that so closely tied to your cycling experience. Like, my dad was a really, really good cyclist growing up, and he supports, like, me riding a bike, and he knows how dangerous it is. But he's like, yeah, I wish I could be doing what you do. And it's like, I'm sure your grandpa, like, in his later age, before he passed, would probably have had those same kind of conversations. Yeah. And, like, also would be really proud of you for embracing your Mexican heritage. Thanks. I think that's amazing.
Thank you.
Fun fact about you, one that you would want to share?
I don't know. I feel like cycling is my fun fact.
Fair enough.
Like my tan lines, people are like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah."
True. True. The tan lines are pretty brutal.
That's my watch.
Damn, that's
Ooh.
pretty gnarly, huh?
That's from home or something. That shade of you.
Yeah,
Is
that's my natural color. That's my British color right there. And then this is my.
Are you sure
The
that's
west
just not a
side.
lack of circulation? Like,
No, it's. Yeah.
I feel like that's what I look like when I'm completely deprived of like blood flow.
No, this would be the color that I would look like if I lived in England still.
Fair. All right. What is the perfect ride length?
Ooh, I would say anywhere from like 50 to 60 miles.
Sick.
And
Metric
maybe
century?
maybe like 5,000 feet of elevation.
Keep adding it on.
Yeah, because I don't get good until later. I don't know. My legs they just take forever to warm up.
That's fair. There's a lot of people like that. The longer you go into an effort,
Yeah.
the better you can
Mhm.
get. It's all physiology
Yeah,
and it's trainable. I
yeah,
imagine.
definitely.
Favorite cycling accessory?
My glasses,
Mm.
my sunglasses.
They're
What color
important.
did you get?
They're pink, like the frame is pink.
Sick.
And then we have like a blue lens and then a clear, like a transparent pink lens.
Sick.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Use 3 words to explain what riding a bike is to you.
Suffer, growth, and play.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Cool. That's the end of the rapid fire. If people want to help and support LABA, how can people do that? Where can they find you? Where can they follow you?
So you can find our Instagram. We have our main organizations page, which is just LA Bike Academy. And then we have our women's page, which is LABA Women's Team.
We'll put the links for both of those accounts in the show notes so people can find them if they so want.
Awesome.
And we're excited to follow on your adventures and your races and all the other activities that you'll get up to this year.
Actually, I have a question that brings up. What races should we expect to see you and your team at this year?
So we'll be doing Tulsa Tough
Sick.
in June. We'll be doing Chicago Grit in July. And then we'll be doing Gateway Cup in August.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Busy summer.
we'll be out.
That'd
Yeah.
be so sick.
Yeah, it'll be super fun.
Cool. And most closely, we're going to be able to see you guys doing bike washes at
At
LA
Clubhouse.
Invitational at the Cup House.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes.
yeah.
Thanks so much
Amazing.
for having me.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
joining
This was
on.
fun.
Amazing.
Super fun.
Super glad to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to episode 7 of the Other Side Cycling podcast. Once again, a special shout out to our guest today.
Catalina Fierros of the Los Angeles Bicycle Academy and the Los Angeles Bicycle Academy women's racing team.
Hell yeah. She was great. Thoroughly enjoyed our conversation. Really looking forward to editing that, and hopefully it sounded good to you all listening and watching too. Thanks again to our friend Mitch Boyer for letting us use his wonderful studio space that we're sitting in right now. We feel so incredibly lucky to be able to use his space to record the episode, so thank you so much, Mitch. As a reminder, we'll be putting out episodes weekly, generally every Wednesday. We'd really appreciate you sharing this podcast with your friends and family. We'd love to build this and reach as many people as possible worldwide.
Just a reminder, this podcast is now available on Apple Podcasts as well as the standard YouTube and Spotify. So, thanks again for tuning in, and bye!
Bye! See you next Wednesday.